about to share a full circle message with you guys. So feel free to speed up the video if you need. If you feel so inclined, I do my best to talk fast, right? Like ADHD should do that anyway. But um, I'm sharing this. I'm finding myself needing to take my time a bit today. That's why I'm prefacing this. If you need to speed it up, feel free. But the message here is important. Okay. So, um, because it's not only layered, but it has multiple components within it. Okay. So where this started was right. I took out um stuff that I had my whites. Right. I did my white clothes yesterday. Washed my white clothes, and I had put I took out my sheets, like some white sheets that I had washed, and they were sitting in my hamper. Right. And so um after I feel like I had it was after I dropped my son off at work. So I took him to work, and then came home and just, felt like I just wanted to, get them folded, get that basket cleared out, whatever. So I started folding the sheets, right? I first folded the flat sheet, and then I started folding the fitted sheet. And we all know, right? Those who know about fitted sheets, you can't fold them properly. You can't fold them like regular sheets, right? So in that, right, being a Virgo too as well, right? This is one of those situations where perfection, right, or at least the idea, the concept of perfection, the way society has given it to us, can't exist. It can't exist here, period. And that's just because um, the way a fitted sheet is designed, you cannot fold it like a flat sheet. Even the titles are different, right? So while I was, just figuring out my own way of how to fold this damn fitted sheet, um, Spirit gave me, like, just said, flawless doesn't mean it ain't good enough. Flawless doesn't mean it's not good enough. And I was just like, not flawless. Something being not flawless. Not flawless doesn't mean that it's not good enough, right? And so it was just kind of like, damn, and it's crazy because there's so many instances and experiences in my life where I can definitely apply that, right? That whole, quick, short, easy, but very real and true concept, right? Just because something, isn't flawless, right? Just because it does have flaws doesn't mean that it's not good enough as is, or however you're able to, what I'm saying, do it, whatever the service is, right? However you're able to provide it doesn't mean it's not good enough just because it doesn't have flaws, just because it has flaws. So I was just like sitting with that, and I was just like, okay. So fast forward, right? I'm, preparing myself, getting my mind right, trying to get ready to go to the gym. And um, while I was sitting, I always back in, and it's easier for me when I'm ready to leave. But not only that, I can see what's going on, while I'm putting on my shoes, while I'm getting my bag ready, getting myself ready to get out the car, and all. It's just safety, right? So I had noticed, right, literally two cars sitting directly in front of me, right? Um One was a white Jeep, and the other one was, I think, a Honda, silver Honda or something like that. So anyway, the white Jeep, right? Um it's Her license plate had 222 in the middle of it, right? And the car directly next to her had 22 in the license plate. I was like, that's fucking wild, right next to each other. And then so as I, getting my stuff ready, and I'm like, that's fucking cool. I take a picture of it, because I'm weird. I'm strange like that, right? I'm weird like that. Let's just call it what it is. It's not strange. That isn't strange. I'm weird like that. So I was like, okay, that's cool. Thank you, universe. I'm always looking for the signs that let me know I'm where I need to be, even if it doesn't always feel in alignment, right? I don't always feel like going to the gym, but when I see stuff like that, it lets me know that I need to be here. I should be here. You know what I'm saying? Me being here is in alignment, right? And so, that's what I took from that. Like, I was just like, damn, so I took a picture of that, and as I was getting out, I looked behind me, right? Because there's also a row, more parking behind me. And so I turn around and see a black SUV that also has 22 in its license plate. And I was just like, okay, spirit. Oh, fucking K. So as I'm, literally now walking, about to, like, literally, as I'm putting my shoes on, there was a lady walking, right? And she ends up getting in the Jeep. And I was just like, damn. And I've done this before, mind you, okay? I've had the inkling before and I followed it, even though it felt awkward in the moment. I did it, right? So this was another one of those situations where I had this inkling to tell her, to go up to her, right? It's totally outside of my comfort zone, and just express to her that, tell her thank you for showing up and coming to the gym, because if you didn't follow your inkling to come here, I wouldn't have seen that license plate that told me I needed to be here. So thank you for following your inkling that helped me, that confirmed mine. You know what I'm saying? I feel like those things are important, right? To notice, how, like, damn, if they didn't show up, I wouldn't have seen that. For me to let me know that I should have been, that I'm grateful that I showed up. You know what I'm saying? Like, how everything is connected. You can choose how the definitions you give the things you see. And so I didn't do it, right? This time I'm not, I guess I was just shy. That's been a trait of old versions of myself, right? As I'm still in this transitional phase of embodiment of a new version. It's just something I've observed, right? I observed in that moment that I felt like I'm just like, I'm not sure if didn't have the energy to do it, or, like I said, I was just, I just felt shy in that moment. She was tall, she's a bit tall. I'm fun size, like, it's so many things I could attribute to that and say why, as the excuse about why I didn't do it. And it could just be flat out like I was scared. I was, you just don't know how people are going to take things. She could have been like, get the fuck away from my car, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? You just don't know. And in that moment, I wasn't willing to risk it to find out. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so I keep walking, and literally, I want to say it had to been 30 seconds. Okay. After I beelined, away from my car and decided I wasn't going to say anything, I had unzipped the side pocket of my gym bag, and I was starting to put my water bottle, that's glass, by the way, in that pocket. And this is, mind you, a brand new gym bag. So I'm not used to its functions. And so I guess the thing had bent a little bit while, the pocket flap had bent in a little bit where I missed it, and my bottle went straight to the floor and broke. Right. And I was like, fuck. So I was like, ah. So, I'm now doing my best to pick up fucking pieces of glass, at least put them off to the side to where, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to be a good human and not just leave it because it's, sharp and dangerous, So I did my best to, pick up the big pieces and just use my foot to scoop all the rest off to the side as best I could, so I get, tires fucked up because of that. Right. And so, so that happened immediately, and I was just like, shit. And immediately what came to me was like, that was like Spirit's way. Like, right before I started recording this video, which is part of why I started recording this video when I did, was because I was avoiding that too. Just like over analysis paralysis, right? And I almost didn't start recording. That's why, like I said, I'm taking my time with the message, because it's multifaceted. Okay. So this is now the second event about this whole thing, right? About, just because it's flawed doesn't mean it ain't good enough. That's what it is. Just because it's flawed doesn't mean it ain't good enough. Okay. So in that moment, I feel like didn't feel that, because I didn't feel like I hadn't planned it. It was just kind of unexpected, that I just was, I guess, more concerned about how it would come off versus just doing it and, being like, fuck it. Right. If it'll go how it's supposed to go. And so, so yeah, my bottle broke, and I was just like, damn, okay, well, like I said, in that moment, Spirit was just like, that was like basically letting you know, like, you dropped the ball, in a sense, like you had an opportunity and you missed it. You know what I'm saying? You missed it. And so I was just kind of like, damn, but why did the bottle have to break? I was already aware of the situation. Like, I was already aware of, you know what I'm saying, the missed opportunity there. But I feel like there's more to it that I haven't tapped. I haven't, more clarity that I have not yet received about that. But as of right now, I was just kind of like, okay, missed opportunity, clearly, and so that was the second component of that, right? Now I get home, right? After all that, I go, get my workout in, kill it, sweat a whole bunch, whatever, come back home. I decide, you know what, I'm gonna jump in the shower. I'm just gonna, you know what I'm saying, reset, get, just get feel right again, you know what I'm saying, get back into my flow, into my element. And um I decided I was gonna, shave, right? And I swear, out of all the years I've been on this planet, I've never, ever, ever in my life accidentally cut myself on the top of my foot. Okay. Like, it happens so fucking fast. And I have a safe and I use a safety razor, okay, that's rose gold, all metal, right? I believe stainless steel. So it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, how the fuck? And like I said, it happened so fast where I think, I don't know if I like, accidentally dropped it, you know what I'm saying? Because I like, it didn't like hit in the tub where, you know what I'm saying, where it's like this loud noise. So I don't know if, like, while I was holding it, I was, I obviously fucked up and cut myself, right? And mind you, this is on my left foot, okay? My feminine side, my receptive side. So that was like me. It feels like, kind of like spirit indicating, like my spirit team, as well, letting me know, like, self-sabotage, you know what I'm saying, like how we, inflict pain upon ourselves that's unnecessary, right? Because we move too fast, or because we're not paying attention, we're distracted, like whatever, there's, like I said, so much that I can, pull from this if I like allow myself to just sit and really, ponder all the things that this could be telling me, right? But it was just kind of like, damn, so like I said, this was like the full circle moment. I cut myself on my left foot. So I just felt like that was spirit's way of letting me know, like, you know when you see an opportunity, is when an opportunity, I should say, is presented to you, and then you hold yourself back, right? How we are essentially missing it's us missing opportunities, right? But it's also dropping the ball on our own, what I'm saying, our own growth, in our own growth, on our own, what I'm saying, journey. And and then the self-sabotage, right? Cutting my left foot, of all things, the foot and your feet are like, what take you on your path. It's what keeps you moving, what keeps you going. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, I wonder if that was kind of like a, like it's giving me like a misstep energy, right? So some of you may be dealing with that as well. Misstep, feeling like you made a misstep, you or like a trip, like you tripped or something, you know what I'm saying? Missed your step. Maybe some of you fell on steps, like because you missed a step. Like, I'm not sure. But it was just kind of like, okay, I missed the opportunity, clearly, right? I hella dropped the ball, and you know, that was that. And so I just decided, like, well, after the fact, I was just like, you know what? Okay, spirit, if I see her again, because this is a gym that I frequent, or at least a location that I frequent, I will tell her, you know, I will tell her, and I will make sure I do it. I've done it before, like I said, with the lady at the water at the marina. This I want to say maybe now about a month and a half or so ago, and her license plate had 444 on it. And I just felt compelled to tell her, and I didn't hold myself back. Why I held myself back this time, like I said, I'm not for certain, for certain. I will be reflecting more on that later on today, and just see what comes through about it, especially because today is the day of Mercury. It's a Mercury day, so that definitely has to do with thoughts, clarity, our your psyche, your mindset, all those things, communication, electronics, things like that, right? So yeah, just because it's flawed don't mean it ain't good enough, okay? And I feel like this message is so important, and it showed me how important it is, because like I said, of how many different fucking ways that one statement, so short, so simple, how it applies in so many different areas of our life, okay? Just because it's flawed don't mean it ain't good enough, okay? Everything is flawed, okay? We are flawed fucking human beings, meaning nothing is perfect in the sense that we've grown up to, know it as, okay? We're all perfect, meaning in this realm, because duality is a thing, right? Duality exists here, meaning polarities, the high, the low, right? The top, the bottom, the left, the right, the in, the out, the up, the down, you know what I'm saying? Polarity exists here. So that means that for us to coexist on this planet the way we were designed to as human beings, having spirits having a human experience, means that since duality exists, you need the positive and the negative. We need the good, the bad, or what I'm saying, as we label it, right? We need the good, the positive experiences, and the laughter, as well as the sadness and the sorrow. Okay, we need both to exist here. So in that means that we're all flawed. Everything has flaws. You can, if you look close enough at anything, you can find the imperfection if you search hard enough, right? Nothing is perfect. You could find an imperfection or a flaw with anything, right? But you can still also simultaneously decide that it's perfect as it is as well. Okay. If it functions the way it's meant to, if it's not harmful to anyone, okay, if it helps you grow and get something, get whatever you need to get done, accomplished, okay, then that means it's purposeful. If it's purposeful, then it's perfect. Okay. So, like I said, if there's something that it feels like some of you have been, putting off for some time, whether it's writing a book, I'm guilty. I hear you, spirit. I got it. Thank you. I'm guilty. Okay. Um, but any other things that, some of you've been maybe wanting to pursue, okay, artwork, right? Quitting your 9 to 5, going in all in on yourself, betting fully on yourself, right? On your own business, whatever it might be, it's going to be flawed. Okay. But that doesn't mean it ain't good enough. Sometimes you just have to accept that I am flawed, but I'm still fucking good enough. Me even recording this video, it's flawed, clearly, right? But for who the message is meant for, it's going to be received. I have to just know that for myself. Okay. So I say that to say, how can you apply that to your own experience? What in your own life are you putting off or not pursuing or not launching, not, sharing with the collective? What disservice are you essentially giving to the collective by not pursuing it because it's flawed? You see what I'm saying? Flaws are going to exist. You improve what you can if you feel like it's absolutely necessary, but whatever else is there, let it fall to the wayside. Okay. Like I said, if it serves the purpose that it's intended, if it helps you accomplish the goal that you need it for, you know what I'm saying? Let that be enough. Flaws will exist. We're meant to have them. That's part of this. That's what makes us all so unique, right? Same with the whole concept of wabi sabi. Please look that up if you're not familiar. It's a Japanese concept, right? Wabi sabi. I love it, right? It's flawed, but it's still good enough. Okay. So it's crazy how folding a fucking fitted sheet, okay, showed me that. And and moving forward, I'm going to take that with me into everything that I do because it's true. Just because it's flawed don't mean it ain't good enough. Sometimes things just need to be good enough. Sometimes good enough is just enough. Even if it's just like, okay, it's good enough. Right? Like that's what I got from that. When I folded it, I was like, it's good enough. It's good enough. And that's when it hit me. And I was just like, oh damn. Oh damn. I needed that. As simple as it is, just because it's simple doesn't always mean it's going to be easy. But just because it's not easy doesn't mean to not do it either. So, simply put, it's a simple concept, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be easy to apply. But that doesn't mean that that you're not good enough to try, right? And if you do, use it and it helps you sometimes, but not other times, does that not mean it's not good enough where it did support you, where it did help you in some type of way? Does that make it not good enough? No. It serves its purpose where it's meant to. We just have to decide that when it does, that's good enough. It did what it was supposed to do, even if it wasn't to our ego standard of excellence, our ego standard of success, right? If it ultimately served the purpose it was intended to serve, right? In whatever way that it played out, just know that it happened how it was meant to. If it was meant to be any more flawless than that, it would have been. But sometimes those things happen in that way just to let us know and remind us that things don't need to be to this crazy, ridiculous standard of excellence or expectation. It's not always meant to be met like that, right? Some things are, absolutely. But when it doesn't happen like that, know that it's good enough as it is. And that still leaves an opportunity to do better, to have better, to do more, to experience more, right? But when we focus too much on the flaw versus the opportunity, we miss it, right? When we feel like we're not prepared, even though the opportunity is presenting itself, if it presents itself, it's because you're more ready than you think you are. You're as ready as you need to be for it, right? Doesn't mean that still you won't be challenged. And then we attribute the challenge to, see, I wasn't ready, I wasn't prepared. That's not necessarily true either. You see what I'm saying? So just know that wherever you feel like you're holding yourself back due to it not being perfect or due to it being a bit flawed, just know that however you present whatever, however it's delivered, okay? However it comes out in that moment, that it's good enough. If it serves the purpose, if it accomplishes the goal, if it makes someone smile, if it pleases your heart, if it makes your soul happy, okay, it's good enough. And just know that if it's good enough, that is enough. Period. You are good enough, just as you are. The only person that will make you feel like you have to change or do anything differently is you. Period. And you can just decide in that moment, is this, this criticism I'm receiving or that I'm feeling, is it a negative thing? Or is it something that can ultimately help me? Can I transmute this experience into one that is ultimately beneficial? You absolutely can. So that choice is yours. Okay. You have the power. You are the operant power in your life, in your realm, in your reality. So you get to ultimately decide the definitions that you give your experiences, because that's only going to determine the next that follows it, right? That's all we have is the present moment. How do we respond in this moment, in this right now moment, moment to moment to moment to moment? How do we respond, right? Do we do better than how we responded the last time this happened? Or do we fall back into old patterns and old versions of ourselves that we've outgrown and that are outdated, right? It's always up to you. So know that. Just because it's flawed, don't mean it ain't good enough. Just because you're flawed, don't mean you ain't good enough, okay? And anybody else that try to tell you otherwise, tell them to kiss yo behind. Okay? Okay, no, but seriously. You're loved. You are worthy. You are deserving, and you are more than enough. You always have been. You always will be. Know that, trust that, accept that, believe that. Okay? Until next time.